let them bring you down, cause then you'll be on a level.
Listen, I'm never giving up.
Stay in the ground, don't get too comfortable or too settled.
Listen, I'm never giving up.
When you hit rock bottom, it's only one way to go.
Listen, I'm never giving up.
Everybody got problems, how you handle them, no. Yeah, listen.
Hey, I'm John.
And I'm Jonathan.
Welcome to the Formula. I had to quarantine myself because I decided to get surgery.
Yeah, man. Tell me about that.
Don't say you decided to get surgery as if you went to get a Brazilian butt lift or something.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that wasn't an option.
And that's the thing. Like, I went to my doctor, and he was like, "Yeah, that's a hernia. You need surgery." So then I went to go see the surgeon. Surgeons, they're the weirdest people in the world. Like, all right, so there's a main surgeon, but there's this other surgeon, right? She came into the office, and she was like, oh, so, yeah, you got a hernia, and we're going to do this procedure. It's a really cool procedure. I'm like, no, it's not a cool procedure. Like, don't talk to me like that. So she goes on the computer and shows me pictures of people's guts. And I'm like, and she's like super excited. I'm like, yo, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you so happy about me getting a surgery? This is not the way you're supposed to.
Well, for some people, that kind of bedside manner is, it depends on the person.
And some.
I like that. I want to know exactly what's going to happen. What's it going to look like?
If I can see it, let me see it.
I don't have a problem with that. I just had a problem with her attitude towards somebody like performing surgery on me.
I mean,
like,
you
why are you so
don't
happy
like
about it?
excitable people anyway. That's not your thing. That's
It's
not
just,
what
she was like so happy about it. And I'm like, yo, why you?
Well,
like,
maybe she was just trying to
relax?
make you feel like it's not a big deal. Like, hey, man, this is cool.
Right. And,
It's not a big deal.
And my personal doctor said that. He was like, yeah, it's common. It's more common among men. And you go in, you get the surgery, and you're out the same day. So I'm thinking, okay, it's not gonna be so bad, right?
And then that woman was like, "I'm about to show you how it feel when you in them guts."
Right. She was showing me pictures, right? And it's like, all I'm seeing is blood everywhere. That's all I'm seeing on the computer screen is just blood everywhere. And she got the googly eyes. And I'm like, yo, what is wrong with you, dog?
Oh, yeah.
So the worst part, I'll just fast forward. The worst part is waking up from the surgery.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
That's
I've
the worst
only
part.
had
Yes.
surgery once, and I had a full-blown panic attack when I woke up.
That's what, okay.
Oh, so that's what happened to you too?
I had a full-blown panic attack.
Tell me about this.
All right, so I don't know if it was a full blown, but
So tell me, like,
the
let's walk through
circumstances
this.
didn't help because I was in the room. I wake up, right? I'm in
Right.
the room. There's other patients who just came out of surgery too. They're having full blown panic attacks. So now I'm worried.
So when you woke up, what was the first thing you hear, see?
I'm hearing patients
Okay.
like screaming, crying, yelling, stuff like that.
What they saying anything? Like,
I can't make out what they were saying because it was a lot of gibberish.
okay.
Right. So that's what I wake up hearing. Right. So I'm like looking around.
In the same room?
In the same room. So I'm looking around and Nurse Sarah, she's the first person I see. And she's like, oh, you just came out of surgery. Surgery went well. But I'm looking at her like, nah, the surgery didn't go well. Because the way my belly feels, it's like I was worried that they botched the surgery.
So how was your belly feeling at the time?
It was like, you see musicians, like they put the girl in the box and they cut the girl in half. That's what it felt like. They cut me in half and they like stapled me back together.
So you can feel all the stitches.
But they didn't use stitches.
Staples.
But it's just, that's the way my belly felt.
They
right?
use staples. Yours?
They actually glued me back together. They didn't glue me back together. It was like
It's surgical glue.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get you.
What they did is they
got the Elmer's glue.
it's basically the super glue. because it's 3 incisions,
Uh-huh.
and they put the tubes inside my stomach, and they closed the hole because I had a hole in my abdominal wall, so that's what it was.
Okay.
That's what the hernia was. So they went in there and they closed the hole, right? And they came back out, right? And then they glued the holes, the incisions, where the incisions were. They glued it together. They didn't stitch it.
So you didn't say what you got this hernia from, because it could be many things.
They just said it was a weak spot in my abdominal wall.
So when you swung from the chandeliers, you didn't lock your ankles. And then next thing you know, you had a hernia. You gotta lock your ankles.
Thank you for the advice, Nikki.
Just
I
saying.
appreciate that.
Tighten your butt.
Yeah, so
Lift with your knees.
right.
So basically, this happened like at work. You just
No,
We don't know what happened.
No, it
John didn't
just
say.
I just woke up one day with a knot on my belly.
well, okay.
That's all it was.
But-
It didn't happen It didn't happen for any particular reason. I just had a weak spot in my abdominal wall,
Mm-hmm.
and I just woke up one day with the knot like at my lower belly.
Mm-hmm.
But you also had hurt your back before that.
Yes, but
This
I don't
is
think
how
it had.
all of these things are connected, right? Because you don't realize, as a person who has a plethora of things wrong with me, you don't realize how one thing being
Could
hurt
affect-
affects
yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
You know, like when I hurt my knee, then in turn I started having pain in my hip because I was putting the kind of way that I was walking on a good leg
Mm-hmm.
was, you know, because I was compensating for the bad leg.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up hurting myself in a whole different way.
Right.
So the fact that your back was already hurting,
I already had back issues,
Mhm.
and then I got this.
yeah,
So there may or may not be a connection, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is.
you could have
a
been
connection.
overcompensating with using different
Overcompensating.
muscles
Right.
to not hurt your back when you were moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
All this goes back to you should always listen to me. You don't listen to me, you get hurt. That's what
right,
happens.
because you're the medical expert, and that's why I should listen to you.
I know everything.
She does know everything though.
Yeah, you know
Yes.
you see the size of that head?
Yeah.
There's a lot of knowledge in there.
I do have a big head. It's full of knowledge.
There's a lot of knowledge in there, man.
And you should know. 'Cause your head is equally, if not greater.
So I think what messed me up was the anesthesia.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what had me bugging out.
Mm-hmm. So what? Tell me about the bugging out. When you woke up, she said, "Hey,
Tell us
whatever."
Tell us about the anesthesia first. Was it gas? Was it something that was injected?
No, it was
something
gas. They
took?
put the mask on my face.
Did you count backwards?
No, I didn't count.
You
I'm
just
like,
gone.
cheap,
because I breathed it in. Then he took the mask off. I'm like, this is not gonna work.
and then you woke up.
Then I was out. I was completely out. Right. So 1 minute after he puts the mask on, like I'm just looking around, like whatever. This is not gonna work on me. Like I'm not even gonna fall asleep because I didn't feel anything. Next minute, I'm waking up from the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel pain in my belly. I'm thinking something's wrong. Nurse Sarah was like, everything went well. And I'm looking at her sideways.
So you met this nurse before you went to surgery?
No. This is the first time I'm seeing this nurse.
Oh, okay.
First of all, I spoke to like 1,000 nurses before the surgery.
Mhm.
This is the first time I'm seeing Sarah.
Things like this make me. I had a similar scary experience. Things like that. I'm not going to interrupt you in your story, but
go
things
ahead.
like this is why I feel like it's important to have a trusted face with you for when you wake up from surgery.
That's the thing. I'm waking up to this woman I've never seen before. Right. And I already spoke to 1,000 nurses.
Mm-hmm.
But Sarah, if you're listening, thank you. Because she really helped. Like, so I'm talking to her right? And then I'm holding her hand. I'm like squeezing the life out of her hand because I'm in pain and I'm panicking and I'm breathing irregularly and I'm hearing all this chaos around me. So I'm like, okay, this is. So now I'm asking myself questions. I'm like interrogating myself. I'm like, because I don't remember anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I think. So I'm like, okay, John, what's your middle name? What's your mom's maiden name? What's your birthday? How many siblings do you have? Yada, yada, yada.
See, this is why zombie apocalypse training is important. Those are good things to do.
Right, because I'm like, I'm asking myself, okay, do I remember anything? And I remember all that. So now I'm calling for my sister. And I'm crying. And she's like
audibly calling for your sister.
I'm calling my sister's name. I'm like, where is she? I need her. Where is she? And the nurse was like, Sarah was like, oh, she's here, but she can't be in the room with you. Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. Because now I'm really bugging. Now the one person that I'm comfortable with, the one person that I need, she can't be by my side right now. So now I'm really bugging. And I'm tearing up and I'm in pain. And eventually, I start to get my breathing regular. Once I kind of calmed myself down, the pain was actually much more bearable. So now I'm not really in so much pain as I was when I first woke up. And this whole time I was really weak. So I'm like, anytime I spoke to Sarah, I was like whispering, like sweet nothings in her ear. So when I was calling for my sister, I was like, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? I need her. Where is she? And Sarah was like, oh, she's outside. She's here. She's just waiting for you to be released. And then like when she told me that, I was like, okay, let me get my breathing right. First of all. And then I calmed down. So then another nurse comes. At this point, I'm chill. At this point, I'm done with the panic attack. So another nurse comes. This is the first black nurse I see. Just putting that out there. And she's like, all right, you need to be in this wheelchair. I'm like, you want me to get up? After I just had surgery? And I can't see that. And that's the thing is you need your abs to do anything. I found that out the hard way. Right? So anytime you need to move, get up. Everything you do, you need your abs, you need your back. I already had back issues. Now I got this going on. So it's like, all right, we need to put you in this wheelchair. So I slowly get up. And she throws me in a wheelchair. She takes me into another room. She asked me, oh, what do you want to eat? I end up with cranberry juice and graham crackers. And then she's like, all right, you're ready to go. So she literally puts on my boxers for me. I was butt naked this whole time, by the way. When I walked in, they told me to get naked. I got naked, put the gown on.
Right.
Butt naked this whole time. She helps me with my boxers, literally. Helps me with my pants, literally. Helps me with my sneakers, literally. And then I had to put on my shirt. She wheels me out to my sister. So I'm like, oh, thank God Maria's here. Right. So I get in the car. We go get the meds. Then we come home. After a little while, I try to eat something, right? After a little while, everything that's in my guts, vomited it out.
Oh, gosh.
Everything.
And
like,
I know that hurt, dude.
Didn't they tell you not to?
They told me not to eat.
And you didn't listen.
10 p.m. the day before the surgery. My surgery was Friday. The last time I ate was Thursday, 9 p.m. The only thing I ate after that was the graham crackers and the cranberry juice. But everything I vomited, and mind you, my abs hurt. My belly hurts.
Oh my God.
And you need your You need your abs to vomit.
And you vomiting, then that you get a whole ab workout for vomiting.
I was just the whole time I was vomiting, I was spazzing out. Like my whole body was just spazzing out the whole time. I was on my knees in front of the toilet.
Oh gosh.
Just vomiting all my guts out.
It
had to be like the whole week of meals that I ate.
When you haven't eaten in a couple of days, and especially after, you're supposed to start out with light things. They're supposed to tell you that. You know, that you're supposed to start out with like, you know, broth and soup. You know, rice. That kind of thing, light things.
All I was eating that week was applesauce.
Right.
That's all I was eating that.
But
that
did they give you? Did you read it? Did they give you? Because it's like aftercare.
So what was that? What was that meal you ate after your surgery?
After we left the hospital, I had a smoothie. That was it.
Wow.
Oh, you said you ate like we thought you like in there with some
no.
Yeah,
I thought you like had a meal.
Nah, not a meal. Well, smoothie is kind of a
like you're supposed to start with like light clear broth. You know, those kind of things.
Right.
First to kind of ease you back in.
I think no matter what I ate,
it was gonna come out.
It was gonna come out because the anesthesia. I think that's the after effect from the anesthesia. So no matter what I ate, it was coming out. It was coming out. That was the worst. Vomiting the day of the surgery. Because remember, I couldn't stay. You get the surgery, they leave.
Yeah.
They throw you out. Right. So
now you have a small taste of what women who get a C-section have to go through. Just a little, and where you're cut, they're cut lower. But those same muscles they can't use. They just, you know.
And I should ask my sister about that because she had 4 C-sections. So yeah,
serious business.
Yeah,
she's a trooper.
Yeah,
not me, Jack.
Yeah, no, not me, because this was the worst. This is the worst experience of my life.
Mine was getting my gallbladder out. I didn't know it was anything wrong with my gallbladder, but every once in a while I would get like this. And I have a pretty high pain threshold, but I would get this pain in my stomach, and I would be so uncomfortable that I couldn't sleep. Taking Tylenol, all those things wouldn't really do anything. I've literally like taken a piece of ginger, peeled it, and shredded it just like that with boiling water and drank it, you know, hoping that it would help. And it would just come and go. It wasn't consistent. So I just thought maybe it was something I had eaten, or, you know, I have like a lot of weird food allergies. So I thought maybe it was like some kind of reaction. But one day I was at work and the pain hit me, and it was so intense that I kind of like passed out, essentially, like hit my head on the wall. And even though I, you know, got right back up, I was like, oh, I got to go to the hospital because that's clearly not normal. And I called an Uber because I was like, you know, this hospital bill is about to be real. And by the time an ambulance gets here, I can just be out of the Uber. But I regretted it once I got to the hospital because I didn't have to go far, but the pain was just increasing. And because it was a regular, the lady, she spoke a different language and she couldn't really understand me, who drove the Uber, and she was like really far away from the entrance. And she couldn't turn back around at that point. And I happened to be in Jersey, even though I was living in Brooklyn at the time because my job was in Jersey. And so I had to walk, and it was really cold outside, and I'm like walking across the gravel, struggling to get in. And by the time I got into the hospital to tell them I needed help, to the desk, my hands were shaking so bad that I couldn't even get my ID out of my wallet because I was in so much pain. And the guy like saw my face and he was like, oh my God. And he came to help me. And he, you know, I filled out the paperwork, and then they took me before all the other people were in there because like it was an emergency, gray, like from the amount of pain I was in. And they seemed to essentially know what it was almost right away. after they laying me on the table and kind of poking at me a little bit, and they were like, okay, so you need to have emergency surgery. You're staying. You're not going home. Here, let's start you on this morphine drip. And I was like, I don't take hallucinogenics. And they were like, what? You don't want to? I said, I don't take hallucinogenics. I don't take those kind of things. You're going to have to give me something else. I will deal with whatever it is. Just give me something enough to take the edge off. So they gave me something else because I don't take those kind of things. I feel very apprehensive about taking any kind of drugs like that. So they gave me something else, and it did take the edge off enough for me to not die on the spot. And I actually ended up having to wait. I couldn't eat either because I was supposed to get surgery right away, but the hospital I ended up going to was a trauma hospital. So that means they get the worst of the worst, injuries. So I had to wait behind other injuries that were more pressing than mine, but I still was kind of high up on the list because the bile was leaking into my system and the whites in my eyes had actually changed color because of that. So my body was like poisoning itself. So the gallbladder surgery is pretty simple nowadays. It's 2 holes on the side, which I believe is where they put the camera, and then it's 2 incisions, one across the top of your stomach and then one down your belly button. So I was really cranky. I didn't want to be there. I just wanted to hurry up and happen. And whenever I thought it was going to happen, it wouldn't. My friend was there with me at first. My friend Chance was there with me, and she stayed the first night with me. But I ended up being there another 2 days waiting for my surgery. And when it was time for my surgery, all the nurses were really nice. And when it was time for my surgery, they took me downstairs, and I was in some, I don't know, it looked like a linen closet. It was really weird, but I was only supposed to be in there while they would get in the other room ready. When they took me into the other room, a lady came in. She told me that she was going to give me something. She injected it into the
IV?
Into the IV, and when I woke up, I freaked the F out because I wear glasses and contacts. I can't see when I wake up. So all I see is white blobs, ghosts all around me because they're all white people. I don't know none of these faces. I don't recognize any of these voices. I'm in pain. I don't have any clothes on. And I'm like, somebody's trying to steal my kidneys. That was my first
That's
thought.
what I thought. I thought they cut me open, gutted me out, and sold all my organs.
Right.
That's
I was like, somebody's trying to sell my organs. That was my first thought. And I flipped out. And they were like, Nicole, what's wrong? You were so happy before. I don't know what they're talking about. 1 minute I was in this other room and I was chilling. And then I wake up and I'm in pain and I'm naked and I can't see. And I don't recognize any of these voices or these faces. And I was like, they trying to steal my organs. I freaked out.
Very similar experience.
And my first instinct was fight. Get out of here. I got to get out of here before they take anything else. So my instinct was, I got to get out of here before they steal the rest of my organs. Like, I mean, I'm alive. I can wiggle my toes. All right, it's time to army crawl out this bitch. That was my first thought. I freaked out so much that I couldn't breathe.
Right.
I couldn't breathe, and they had to give me oxygen. I bust my own lip, trying to fight my way out of the bed, and I still couldn't move my whole. I'm very sensitive to certain kinds of medication, which is why, like even codeine, I can't take codeine. I've taken it before. I'm paralyzed when I take it. I can't move my body. I'm awake, but I can't move. So I fought with them about giving me my allergy bracelet because I didn't want them to give me anything. And I couldn't properly move my body, maybe because I was still coming out of it. I don't know. But I was ready to army crawl out, and I was going to fight anybody who tried to touch me. I was like, I'm out. And, they had to put me on oxygen. And, really talk to me and calm me down and say to me, you just had your surgery. You've been here for a couple of days. Everything is okay. I couldn't even talk. I was freaking out because I wanted to leave and get out of there and get to someplace safe to somebody I knew. And I was like, I don't know you people. And clearly somebody has hurt me because I hurt. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Wow. And it enough so that even after I had calmed down and I didn't need the oxygen anymore, but I had to keep it all the way up to in my room. And it was a full on, I could not get the oxygen into my lungs. I was so afraid because I couldn't get away. Mm-hmm. And by the time they took me back upstairs, I was able to have my glasses back. I was like, oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, I've been here for a couple of days. Clearly. And then I just wanted to take a shower. I didn't want to be bothered. I just wanted to go home. And the lady's like, do you need help? No, I don't want any help. I don't want anybody to touch me. Just leave me alone. I know you're trying to be nice, but no, can I go take a shower? She's like, yes, you could take a shower. All right, I'm going to take a shower. Here come the nurse inside of there come help me in the shower. I spazzed. Don't come in here. Just leave me alone. I'm traumatized. Just stay away from me. Yes, I'm in pain. Yes, I can barely stand up, but you know what? I'm going to take this shower by myself. Leave me alone. I got a walker in here if I need it. Leave me alone. I took my shower, I got dressed, and essentially I was pretty grumpy until they told me I could go home. The lady was going to, you can go home. You can, it's supposed to be outpatient. You can go home. But they were going to have me stay until the next day, and the lady came, and I was like, look, please, can I leave? She was, you can leave, Nicole. It's all right. I didn't want to take any medication. I didn't want anything. I don't want anything from you people. Yeah, I just want to go home.
That's crazy because I didn't want to leave.
Yeah?
Because I was in so much pain.
Look, I
didn't want to leave. So they were like, yeah, you could go now. I'm like, oh, man, can I just stay one night? One night.
I was ready. I had already been in the hospital for many days. I just wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, your situation is different.
Yeah. Touched by anybody. I didn't want anybody to touch me. I didn't want anybody to talk to me. When I'm in that kind of pain, and now that I've had that kind of fear now attached to it, just leave me alone. Yeah. I don't want to be around anybody. Just let me go home. And the people were so nice. They were so understanding.
The nurses were nice. They gave me a hard time about not taking Tylenol. But it's like, no, I don't want to take it.
Yeah, I didn't want to take it either. I regretted it later.
I didn't get it. For me, the pain, it was bearable. Like, I didn't really need the Tylenol.
No, I regretted it.
Once I calmed down, like, once I wasn't.
Only because I sleep on my stomach.
Mm-hmm. That's the other thing, too. I had to sleep on my back, and I don't like sleeping on my back.
See, I have sleep problems.
Right.
So the way that I fall asleep is the only way that I can fall asleep. So unless I wanted to be awake for the next however many days until I was healed, I had to go to sleep. So I had to call a friend, and I was like, look, I don't usually smoke weed, but I need some tonight. Buddy, pal, help me out.
Yeah, for a good week, I felt like the weight of the world at the pit of my stomach. So I was like I was leaning forward the whole time. Mm-hmm. I was standing or walking or anything like that because my belly just felt so heavy.
Right.
So, I feel your pain for the anesthesia, man. That was one of the scariest experiences of my life.
Man, that really had me bugging.
And it really greatly affected. So any nurses that had to deal with me afterwards, I mean, I wasn't horrible. I wasn't horrible. But I was not my kind, normal self.
You wasn't having it.
I was not having it. I just wanted to be away from there. I didn't want anybody to touch me. I was afraid. That the fear still lingered in my mind when I knew that that's not what happened. I just wanted to be away from there. It was scary.
And after being in there for like a good 3-4 days, you're just like, I just like, can I go, please?
Yeah.
Like, can I go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone that's going to have surgery at some point, just know this is why we're talking about it. Just prepare yourself, especially with the anesthesia. And they told me, the anesthesia might make you feel some type of way. And I'm like, yeah, I was vomiting the day.
Everybody's experience is different too. Everybody's experience is different.
Yeah.
Mine was scary. Yours was scary, but everybody's is not scary. Some people.
Yeah, mine wasn't scary.
Yeah, mine was. I was. Yeah.
When I had my knee surgery, it was just my knee though. So
Right.
when I had my knee surgery, it was like I was just sad that nobody was there with me. I was in Salisbury by myself.
I would have been all right if my sister was there. I would have been all right. I would have been totally
that would have
fine.
been better. If I would have
if she was the first person I woke up to,
yes,
yeah, you'd been good.
I would have been good.
Yeah,
I would have been good.
If I woke up to somebody who I knew, I would have been much more comfortable.
I would have asked her like, "Yo, what did they do to me?
Right?
What did they do to?" Because I was asking her like, "This don't feel right. What did they do to me?"
Mm-hmm.
And I would like lift. I was trying to lift the blanket, lift the gown to look in my belly. And Sarah was like, "Oh, you want to see what they did to you?" I'm like, yeah." She's like, "Oh, yeah, they just put an incision here, here, and here." I'm like, "Okay," but Sarah really helped. She really helped. But yeah, it's anyone that's gonna go through surgery, just prepare yourself, man. Just prepare yourself.
Did they tell you like what was the marching orders going out of there? Like, do not do this. Like you said, you had the
because
right?
you had your my surgery was years ago that I'm talking about.
They
your
gave
surgery
you,
was during Corona.
They gave you I had to take the coronavirus test, by the way, beforehand.
They did that when you were asleep?
No. I did it. I had to take the test like 2 days before the surgery.
Oh, got you.
It was like a drive-through. So I drive up. They put the swab in my nose. They used the smallest swab and they didn't go all the way. They did not go all that far.
Right. They didn't do it right.
Really?
It came back negative.
Yeah, that's because they didn't do it right.
Hey, I mean,
they were supposed to touch your brain.
They didn't go nowhere near my brain. Just went in my nostril.
Wow.
Like kind of
That's
a
not
circular
right.
motion.
That's what they do in the NFL too. They just go right around their nostril. That's it.
Yeah,
that's not. I mean,
I don't know if there's different kind of tests or whatever, but they didn't poke my brain.
Like for example, your wife is a nurse. She knows how to do the test,
Right.
and she went up in there.
Right.
You know,
She
so
went
the
up in
fact
there.
that they're not doing it that way for some people,
But I had to drive to the hospital.
Right.
I had to drive to the hospital
So
where the
people in the
surgery
hospital
was
doing
taking
it.
place,
Right.
and it was a bunch of nurse professionals who were doing it.
Yeah. They might.
It was right in their parking lot.
Right.
So I drove right up in their parking lot.
Right,
They had the tent. So
Yeah.
you drive in the tent.
Right.
They stick the swab in their nose,
Right.
in your nose, and then you drive off.
Okay. So, because you said you was like kind of hunching over for like a
Afterwards.
week, right? Did they
Yeah.
tell you to try to walk straight or
Nah.
No?
They didn't
Okay.
tell me. They did give me like a pamphlet.
Did you read it?
I read it. I'm not gonna say I followed all of the instructions, but I read it.
Hard-headed.
I read it, and it was like they kind of just tell you what to do, what not to do, pretty much.
Cool.
But that was it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
Did what you went through affect you in any tangible way?
I never want to go through that again.
Yeah, he can't put a hump in his back for a while.
No hunching. No hunching for a while.
I am staying low. I basically quarantined myself, even though I didn't have the virus, but
Right.
I couldn't really do anything anyway because my core is all messed up in the game.
Right.
So for a week, I couldn't do anything anyway. I couldn't really go anywhere. They told me probably not a good idea to drive, so I didn't drive anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But after about 7 days, I could stand up completely straight.
Good.
And then 2 weeks, completely mobile. So
Okay. So did they say that what's the chances of that happening again?
So what they did was they like used a mesh material to close the hole
Mm-hmm.
in the abdominal wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her, like, is that going to be like a problem 10 years from now? Am I going to get infected? You know, she's like, nah, you could live with that for the rest of your life, technically. So I was like, okay. But yeah, it was a mesh material to close the wall.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't dissolve; it just stays there.
It just stays there, apparently. They said it's a very strong mesh-like material.
They just like
Flexible mesh material.
Yeah.
puttied it, you know,
Yeah.
reinforced.
Right. Right.
Silicone in it.
Little
Some
Home
Gorilla
Depot
Glue.
quick patch.
Right.
That's what's up, man.
So yeah, shout out to anyone who's ever gone through surgery, especially in your core or in your back, because you know you need those things to move around.
Right.
And I had to sleep on my back for a week, not comfortable, tossing, like getting in and out of bed. That was a struggle. Taking showers was a struggle because taking off my clothes and putting on my clothes. The shower itself is not bad because I could just stand there and, you know, do my thing. But taking off my clothes, putting on my clothes, putting on my socks, forget about it.
So did you walk around all week with a moo-moo on?
With a who?
Moo-moo. The dress.
Nah.
And would it make your life easy in that way? You struggled through?
Well,
sweats?
see the thing, I'm staying with my sister, so there's limitations to what I could do, what I can't do.
Exactly.
If I could, I would have just walked around naked, right?
Right.
But being that I'm staying with someone else, you know, at
It's not
this
a good
time,
idea.
probably not a good idea.
You don't want to see your butt.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was my experience with the surgery.
Well, good.
Not fun.
Glad you're good, man.
I'm good now.
God.
I'm good now. I feel a lot better. But this is a month out from the surgery,
Right.
so I'm feeling a lot better.
So how long until you are fully back to normal? Because I know you still have to be careful about certain things.
That I don't know, and I still have to go back to work at some point.
When can you get back to the chandeliers?
That I don't know.
Did they give
I'm still like being easy with that.
Did they give you like a time when they thought that?
They said 4 to 6 weeks you go back to work.
God, 4 to 6 weeks.
They said
Even
4 to
though
6
you
weeks
have
you
to
go
be-
back to work. It's light duty. You have to be
Okay,
light duty
light
work.
duty. Okay.
But they said technically you go back to work.
Wow.
'Cause
So
you
if I
have
had like
to-
an office job, I'd be good.
you have to
Right.
bend and lift things at your job.
Considering what I do, they're gonna have to find something else for me to do
Right.
if I go back to work now. So I pretty much taking 8 weeks off just to be
On the safe
on
side.
the safe side,
Yeah.
and being that I don't have to worry about getting evicted or anything like that. I could take that kind of time. Not everybody could do that. Some people have to go back to work right away. Thank God for my sister and her husband because they really looking out for me. So
Right.
Shout out to Maria and Alicia.
Yeah, man.
shout out to them. But yeah, if post surgery, if you could try to take as much time off as you can because you need to heal. I'm still feeling some effects, but it's not as bad as, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So
Good, man. Glad you're right, man.
we survived, man.
Yeah, we survived. 2020, it touched us too. We wasn't immune to 2020.
Yeah, it's still probably the worst time to have a surgery, really.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so, and especially not a good time to get the coronavirus.
Yeah.
I don't know what you was thinking with that.
Thankfully, everybody's okay.
Everybody's
Yeah,
good. Everybody's good
Yeah,
now.
man. Glad you're good, bro.
Yeah.
Glad we
And
can get back on this podcast and talk about it. We live to talk about
we
it.
live to talk about it. But I literally thought near death experience.
Wow.
But I woke up and it's like, okay, I'm still alive, but It don't feel right. So it don't feel right.
Right.
But if they could find a way to have my sister in the room when I wake up, I would have been good.
Right.
And I think everybody else that was in the room panicking, they would have been good.
That
You know what
is
I mean?
scary. Now,
That's
I'm not
scary,
gonna lie.
like waking up to that.
If I would have woke up in a room full of screaming people with the way that I felt after my surgery,
That's what
I
I'm saying.
definitely would have hit somebody.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Shout out to Nurse Sarah though, because
Nurse Sarah.
I was holding her hand the whole time. The whole time I was panicking, I was squeezing her hand hella hard.
Well,
And
She tried to hold my hand. I tried to fight her.
and she was a trooper. She was just cool. She was like, cause you know she does that every day. So it's like, yeah, whatever, John, you'll get over it at some point. So
good, man.
Your calm, easygoing nature probably really helped you.
it really did. It really did because I was bugging, but I wasn't. It didn't go too far. I didn't go too far with it. So
You
eventually I got.
me.
Yeah.
You didn't do like me. I went too far. Definitely went too far.
You completely spazzed out on everybody.
I tried to escape. I did. I tried to escape.
Yeah, no, I was good for the most part. For the most part, I was good. I was probably the easiest person to deal with in that room, considering everybody else that was in the room. But yeah, and quarantining is not a problem for me because I'm antisocial anyway. So staying in the house for 4 weeks, not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Gotcha, man.
Oh man.
All right. I have scars on my belly. I don't know if I'm gonna post pictures. But if I do, check it out, The Formula Production, Instagram. Follow us on Twitter at The Formula Pod. Look out for us on YouTube. All that jazz. Follow me at Speechless417, SPEECHLESS 417 on all the platforms.
Yep. You can follow me at Boot Leach, at BOOTLEACH, on both Twitter and Instagram.
All right. So the conclusion is coronavirus is real.
Corona is real.
It's a real thing. And going through surgery is real.
Yes. Nah, man.
So, but it's good to see you.
Yeah, man. Good to see you,
good to
man.
see you.
Good to see
You
everybody.
look good, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I look like the zombie apocalypse. Look like I was straight out of Walking Dead a few weeks ago. Look like Rick Grimes was at me a few weeks ago.
But good to know that you're okay and that your family's okay.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Everything's good.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Till next time. Faith, dream, hustle, repeat.
That's the formula.
Don't ever let them bring you down, cause then you'll be on a level.
Listen, I'm never giving up.
Stand your ground, don't get too comfortable or too settled.
Listen, I'm never giving up.
When you hit rock bottom, it's only one way to go.
Listen, I'm never giving up.
Everybody got problems, how you handle them, no. Yeah, listen.